beautiful.
Hello, how are you, beautiful?
Good. I'm so excited to be talking to you today.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. This is
Oh,
so fun.
so excited. So, how are you, gorgeous?
I'm doing really, I'm doing well. I'm a little crazy. My childhood best friend had a baby yesterday, so it has been a wild past like 48 hours, but
That's
overall,
exciting.
yeah, it's nuts, but we're doing great. We're doing
Well,
great.
that's good. Thank you
How
so
are
much
you
for talking.
doing?
I'm good. I was looking forward to this interview. Girl, your fans are so bomb. I love your fans.
Oh my gosh, we love that. Yes,
Yes,
hello.
we love a good fan moment. I have to ask you. So, I know you said your friend had a baby this weekend.
Yeah,
Did you get a chance to watch Black is King?
of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? What was your favorite part?
It was incredible. You know what? The brown skin girl video made me cry. That's what did
Anjelika.
it for me. That's
Anjelika,
what
I
did it.
was crying so hard. Me and my best friend, we're like sending messages like, oh my God.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
very emotional. Like,
Yeah,
right?
it was very emotional. And you know what? I love the part where she was like in the mansion and then she goes into the water with the synchronized swimmers.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was so beautiful. And literally, I was like, yeah, synchronized swimmers. Like, absolutely. I don't know why I had never like thought of that, why I felt like that had never been done before. But I mean, that's what she does, right? She does the things that have never been done before. She's the queen.
That
So,
Queen
yeah, it was a very like emotional experience for me. And it was also a very like a sip of fresh water, like a breath of just I don't know. I felt refreshed and restored, especially. I mean, you're sure you can relate, but just being a Black woman these last few months for sure have been weighing on my heart a lot.
yes.
So, yeah, I felt very refreshed. Yeah.
I it was very refreshing, very inspiring, emotional, like all of those things. And
Hmm.
again, it's Beyonce. So I had to ask you because I'm like, okay, I have to ask my girl Anjelika, did she watch Black is King? Because I
Of course.
watched it a few times.
Right. Of
Yeah.
course. I actually watched it with my best friend the day before she went into labor. We watched it on Friday and we were like obsessed.
Wow.
So,
What did she have and what did she name the baby?
she had a boy and his
Oh,
name is Isaiah Boston.
I love it.
And he's so healthy and perfect. And yeah, is my like the first friend that I've grown up with who's like had a baby where I've got to see the process.
Yes.
So it's been crazy. It's absolutely though solidified. Like I've always wanted to adopt, and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm like for sure I want to adopt. I was watching and I was like, yeah,
This thing.
this is it for me. Love
Well,
it. Women are amazing, incredible creatures. I mean, we could do anything,
we can.
anything.
We can. We
Um,
can for sure.
wow. Yeah, but I was like, nah, I'll just be Beth Chapel. It's fine.
Well, welcome to the world, baby Boston. So happy you're here to join us again, Anjelika. So we're going to dive right in.
Thank you. Let's do
Um,
it.
so you grew up in Bakersville, California.
Hmm.
Talk to us a little bit about like your early career aspirations. You were a cheerleader in high school. When
Hmm.
did you catch this acting bug?
In high school as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my mom actually put me in my first play in Bakersfield when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
Because I'm so talkative and I was obviously such a talkative child.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, in school, they'd always be like, Anjelika, she's a great student. She just talks so much. So my mom was trying to find outlet for me,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere where I could like be free to talk, you know, and be other people and just like express myself.
Right.
So I did my first play when I was 8. And then, yes, I got into cheerleading. I came to be kind of obsessed with that. But in
Mm-hmm.
high school, my freshman year, they were like, I actually took a drawing and painting class. This is just
Oh,
the
wow.
tea here. I took a drawing and painting class my first semester of high school. I got a D because I know I feel like we graded really harshly, but also like I'm terrible. I'm like a stick figure girl, so I like cannot do it.
Same.
And right, so they were like, okay, you have to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
What else would you want to do? And I was like, oh, you know what? I think I love to do theater. I did that when I was 8, and it was so fun. And my high school had just done the musical Fiddler on the Roof, and it
Oh,
was incredible. My high school actually has like a really, really great theater program.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I joined that, and I became obsessed, like the definition of like a theater geek or a drama geek, like just
Mm-hmm.
obsessed with acting, and I knew I wanted to be an actor. And so right when I was 18, I moved to LA to pursue acting, and here we are some
Here
years
we
later.
here we are. Here in
Yeah.
this long journey you've been on. So we have so much to talk about. Who were some of your early inspirations on TV and in film that inspired you to want to be an actor?
Yeah, I feel like I've had so many, but the truth would be like the black actresses I got to watch,
Yeah.
because it would be like Raven,
Mm-hmm.
Simone, like
Mm-hmm.
Keke Palmer, um, from That's So Raven, True Jackson VP. I also loved Save the Last Dance.
Oh yeah.
Kerry Washington
Oh yeah.
was incredible.
You
People
kind of
forget.
remind me of a young version.
Oh my
Looking
God,
at you.
we
Wait
love
a
that.
minute.
We love
Oh,
that.
yes,
Yes.
we do. Okay.
Absolutely. I would love that.
Yeah.
Hey Auntie Carrie. And yeah, I loved that movie. I loved Bring It On. So I was obsessed with Gabrielle Union.
Yes. Same.
Just I feel like the classics. I loved Love and Basketball. Sanaa Lathan was everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all of those women. And I also did watch, like I grew up watching a lot of like Degrassi, which was Canadian TV, like
Yeah.
Drake when he was on it. Like I watched
Mm-hmm.
all of those. I'm pretty sure those were like reruns by the time I was watching them, but when I was watching them, I loved that show. So like I follow basically the entire cast of Degrassi, but it's like so weird because they're like in their 30s now, and I'm like, hey, I watched your show and like it meant a lot to me and I learned a lot.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you moved to LA, like you said, at 18. You
Mm-hmm.
went to college for a bit, though, right? After high school, but then you
I did.
figured that
This
wasn't
is
for you.
not for me.
Talk
Yes.
to us a little bit about the defining moment in which, because we're all taught, I feel like growing up in Black families and Black households, we're taught, go to college, you go to high school, you go to college, you get married, you have the baby, you get a job, you're successful, the whole bit. But that ain't right for everybody. That doesn't work for everybody. So talk to us about your moment when you're in college, you're sitting in class and you say, okay, this ain't it for me. I know it's something more and I gotta go get it. Tell us about that moment.
Okay, really quick, I'm gonna say hi to Beth Chapel Defense Squad because y'all are commenting a lot and I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Y'all always got my back and you're always here to watch me. Hi, I love you. So the defining moment for me, well, so when I went to college, I went to school originally as a theater major, because I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And I went to Los Angeles Pierce College, which is a community college over there. And I, was like, gosh, I was taking a theater class and I was kind of learning things I already knew because I had just done it all through all 4 years of high school. Obviously, it's not the same, but I had my moment for sure when okay, so let me back up really quick. So while I was also in college, I was taking acting classes in LA at like different like acting studios and stuff like that. And so I had this career, like a career coach in this acting program I was in, and I was a full-time student and I was exhausted. And he was like, what do you really want? What do you want this degree? And what are you going to do with it? Or do you want to be an actor? Because you don't have to have the degree to be the actor. So what do you want? And I was like, I really want to be an actor. Like, that's what I want. I want to be an actor. And he was like, great. So you need to focus all of your attention on being an actor. And he's like, you need to have a talk with your parents. And so I was like, oh God, I was dreading it. Because like you said, I was raised by my mom. My mom has all sisters, and I have like lots of female cousins who I love. And so we were all just kind of taught, especially as a Black woman, like, you have to have a degree because it's the one thing that they can never take away from you. It's the one thing. And so I was just like knowing for sure it wasn't for me, and also not wanting to waste my time because I'm like, I'm young. I look so young. I'm in high school. Like, this is great. And so I didn't want to waste my time. So So I had to sit down with my parents, and I really just told them, like, I want to be an actor. I want to drop out of college. Like, it's a waste of my time, not only my money. By the way, I was paying for myself to go to school. I was working at Starbucks, and I was paying my way. Like, I was paying for everything. And that's really difficult. Like, obviously living in LA, the price of living compared to my hometown is like astronomical, you know?
Right.
So it was like a really difficult time, obviously. And my parents just, by the grace of God, honestly, it makes no sense, because my mom and my dad just kind of looked at me and had a moment and were like, okay,
Wow.
okay. And then the one thing my dad said was, all right, well, if you're going to be an actor and you're going to drop out of college, that needs to be your full-time job. 8 hours a day. If this is going to be your full-time job, you need to act like it's your full-time job. He's like, I don't care what you're doing. If you're in classes or whatever, you're putting in 8 hours a day.
I love that.
I was like, yeah, okay, I'll put in 8 hours a day. So even if like I would just go see a movie, and then I would watch TV, and then I would watch YouTube interviews, and then I would like all types of stuff. I would just be trying to fill my day with like 8 hours a day full of like entertainment, acting, business stuff.
Right.
Because also that's my education, right? Because
yes.
I'm not like getting a traditional education. So I would go to so many, in LA, there's so many free, well, the world shut down, but there's so many free like workshops and free seminars and free webinars and just all types of stuff. So basically I just went to like everything free. And I recommend, because just take advantage of every resource you could think, even if it was something that I felt was like probably so stupid, or things that I thought I already knew. I was like, I'm going to go anyway, because I'm sure there's something I can learn, right? Even if it's just like one phrase or one quote that I hear that I've never heard before. Or sometimes there's things you've heard before, but it hits you different.
Yep.
You hear it another time and you're
That's
like,
true.
oh, wow, that made an impact in a different way. So yeah, that's me.
So, Anjelika, that's inspiring. Thanks for sharing that, because a lot of people will oftentimes think, oh, well, I already know that, so I don't need to go, or I'm already good at this. I just need a job. So thank you for sharing that you still need to educate yourself and take up as many resources as possible.
Right.
So talk to us about, so you're working at Starbucks. How long before or how long after, when you moved to LA, did you book your first job?
Oh, like my first job?
Yes.
Not very. I mean, it took me, I think I was here like 6 months. Okay. And that's really like, that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very aware that it often takes years and years and years and years and years. But I didn't book my first pilot until a couple years in. But then after I booked the pilot, everything, even though it didn't get picked up, that's when everything started moving. Like after the pilot, things started to move, and then after the pilot, that didn't get picked up. Then I booked a bunch of guest stars, and then I didn't work for like 9 months, and that was really scary. And I was auditioning my booty off.
Yes.
And I had just quit Starbucks, and I was like, I'm just gonna take this leap of faith. I'm just gonna say, God, I'm just gonna go for it, because I knew that it was a lot of work to auditioning and trying to work there. So I was just like really broke for a while.
Right.
And I wasn't booking anything, and I was living off my savings. And then I was really in a discouraged place because I was auditioning so much and nothing seemed like it was happening for me. And then, girl, I got that Stargirl audition, and I remember going into the Stargirl audition like, whatever, like, I hope they like me. And if they don't, I mean, so many no's already. It's just going to be another one in the book, you know? But I had made a decision that from then on, or not like before Stargirl, actually, it was a couple months before I made a decision. All of my auditions are going to be fun. Fun, fun, fun. I'm going to choose fun in everything. And so I'm really grateful I did, because Beth gets to be a lot more of like the comedic fun side. And so I'm really glad I made that choice.
And I'm going to get to Stargirl, but before we get to Stargirl, and we have so much, I mean, we have a lot more to cover. So just bear with us, girl. You had quite the career, like you said, but you did a lot of background work too. You didn't just go from, let's note, you did background work. So that was still a check. You were still working, but it wasn't like a series regular, but you were still able to learn and gain experience from that. You appeared in Young Sheldon, Shameless, And then your breakout role, I would say, would you say was your breakout role, Tall Girl on Netflix?
I would, yeah.
I loved you in that. I mean, absolutely loved you in Tall Girl. Why do you think that that film on Netflix resonated with viewers so much the way it did?
I think, well, there's a lot of reasons people like you didn't like it, but I think that
well, yeah,
right. But regardless, the reasons why people did like it,
exactly.
I think a lot of people loved it and it resonated with them mainly because it was about loving who you are exactly the way you are, and overcoming any insecurities that you may have had, and realizing that everything that you think is wrong with you is actually the best parts of you. And so and that's honestly what drew me to the script. When I first auditioned for Tall Girl, I read the script and I was like, and honestly, when I first started reading through most of it, like maybe the first 30, 40 pages, I was like, okay. I loved Farida. I'm like, oh, she's me. She's the best friend. Like, that's me anyway.
Yeah.
And then at first I was like, oh, okay, this feels like kind of cheesy. But then as it started to progress, and I started to see the change in Jody, played by Ava Michelle, who is awesome. I was like, wow, okay, there's an element that's really different about this. There's something that makes this special. It's not just like a regular teen rom-com that is like, I'm going to be bored to death and fall asleep on. I felt like, wow, there's actual change. And then I loved that she found this strength, and I love the journey that she did try to change herself to like fit what these guys want. We've all done that. I've done that. Oh my gosh, try to change yourself for a guy. It's the stupidest thing ever. But we've all done it. And so I love that it showed that journey, but then I loved it showed her journey back. Her journey back to being like, no, I am enough exactly the way I am.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love the messaging in it. I thought it was so perfectly done, even though, like you said, we're not worried about the naysayers. Do you think
we're not worried about them?
Are you guys going to get a sequel to Tall Girl? Is it coming back? Or
I would love that. I have no idea at all, but I would love, like, we should tell Netflix to do that. I mean,
should Netflix, if you're watching,
like, holla at me. I'm kind of available, not really. I mean, depends on Stargirl, but Stargirl is coming back, so
I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. And then Girls Room.
Yes,
I absolutely love that one. And you guys won the Tribeca X Award, so congratulations for that, for Best Episodic Series.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about how you got involved with that project, and what was it like working with Lena and Dove and all of the people on that film, on that series? Yes,
well, I was filming Stargirl when my agent called me and was like, hey, there's this role that Lena Waithe wrote for this like short digital series, whatever. And I was like, okay. And so I read the script and I was like, wow, I love this. What in the world? And I had actually already known of Tiffany Johnson, the director, just because I also, I want to direct one day. So I love looking up like Black female directors and just getting so inspired by them. So I'd actually known of her and her previous short films. And so when I saw that she was directing it, I was so excited. And I put myself on tape when I was in Atlanta filming. One of my castmates, Meg, who plays Shiv on Stargirl, she taped me. And then
Meg.
Yes, thanks, Meg. Thanks, girl. And then I sent it and I didn't hear anything for 2 weeks. And I was like, well, it happens, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And then out of nowhere, my manager calls and was like, hey, they want to fly you out for a chemistry read. And I was like, what the heck? And so I was so excited. And so I got to fly out. Thank God they somehow worked it around my filming schedule of Stargirl. And I was able to go. I was able to do the chemistry, meet all the girls. That was so awesome. And I remember being there like, so did I book it? Like, is this what this is? Like, I'm confused. I'm like, did I book the role? Because all the other girls are here, but there's only one of us. Normally, like, there would be someone else, reading for the same role. But there wasn't. It was just all of us. So then I think we were all just kind of like, I think we booked it. I think this means we booked it. Right. And then we did. Right. But we weren't sure. So we like got each other's social media, and then we're like, okay, just in case, girl, like let me know if you get replaced. Like let me know if somebody replaces me.
I love it. I love it.
It was great. But yeah, we booked it, and then literally I wrapped my very, very last day on Stargirl on a Friday. I think it was like, it wasn't September 1st, but it was something like August 30th or something like that. It was on a Friday. I flew back to LA Saturday, Sunday, basically moved back into my apartment and was on set Monday for Girls Room, starting a new series.
Wow.
So it was like a whirlwind of a time. I'm like, wrap one series, I get here, I'm starting a next series, and it was awesome. And what was so special about Girls Room is I've never done anything with all women of color, like ever. From top to bottom, from the writer, the director, hair, makeup, wardrobe, like just ADs, PAs, everyone.
Wow.
I just had never, ever done anything like that. And so it was so special. I keep in contact with every single one of those girls. I see some of them weekly or like FaceTime. We like still talk and hang out. And one of them came to my house for Christmas, Gianna Camille. She's amazing. So
special.
Yeah, it's so special. It really is. And I think it also, you can see how special it is. And maybe that's why we won the Tribeca Award. I mean, I don't know.
And you guys deserved it, by the way. I was so
Thank
hyped
you.
for that. I was like, I mean, I like shows or series or shorts or whatever that have a important message behind it. I'm all about a message, right? I just don't like wasting my time watching anything that isn't serving some kind of purpose in some way. And I felt like Girls Room definitely serve the purpose. So
yes, thank you. I appreciate that. That was the number one reason. Above all, I love that Lena Waithe wrote it. I love Tiffany was directing. I love I was going to work with all of these beautiful women of color. But above all, like the message, just like in Tall Girl, it was the message. It's like the message of like what I have two nieces, so I'm always thinking about the projects I choose and what the message is for them, you know, and how will they see this? How will this make them view themselves as a Black woman? So everything I do, I'm really conscious of that, and always wanting my nieces to feel seen and feel worthy and know that they're enough. So I'm just so grateful they happen to like not exactly fall in my lap because I auditioned for them, but like I just happened to get them. So it's amazing.
I can't wait until you start telling your stories. I'm sure they're going to have important messages too.
Oh,
when you're behind the director's chair.
Yes, one day. It's all on the way. It's all on the way.
It's coming. So from Girls Room to the amazing Stargirl. So I know the fans are in here. They're waiting for Stargirl talk. So here we are. I love your character, Beth Chappell, Dr. Midnight. I love her so much. I feel like she has become such an inspiration to young Black girls on screen. And not just Black girls, but girls in general, right? I love the afro. I just love everything about her. Talk us through the audition process. I know you were speaking about it a little bit earlier. Walk us through how you became Beth Chappell, Dr. Midnight.
Yeah, my audition process feels crazier compared to my other castmates, but fairly like normal. So like I said, I was in that place where I was like discouraged, and I'm like, I'm just gonna audition and I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna make all of these characters fun. So I did. I went in for Beth Chappell, and I remember getting there at Rich Delia Casting's office in LA. It's like off of Melrose, and being like, wow, this is so cool. And seeing like what had felt like at the time every Black girl in LA. Like I was just like, oh, everyone's here. Like girls I'd seen on TV that I've been watching, like just like everyone. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like everyone's here. And I had already like rehearsed my audition with a friend of mine named Katra. Hey, Katra. And I had been auditioning, like running it with her, and I had been making like choices where I was like, actually, I'm gonna like make this fun. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna say that. And then she was like, okay, girl, like this can go either really great for you or really bad for you.
Right.
And I was like, I just feel like she should be funny. Like I feel like this is written funny and not like so like over the top serious, because I'm like, well, the Courtney girl's serious. So like, I don't know. I made that choice. So I remember sitting in the room and being like, hearing girl after girl go in, because you know the walls are not thin. I mean, not thick. They're pretty thin. And hearing every girl say it either kind of the same, but also just like so serious. And I was like, I'm not doing that at all. Like I was sitting there like, this is literally not how I'm going to do it. So, yeah, I'm making a big choice here. This is going to be great. And so I just decided, I don't care. I'm going to have fun and I'm going to make it great and whatever. And I'm going to bring me to it. Cause I'm like, I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to put my personality in it. It's going to be fun. So I go in, I did it one time. Girl, I'm telling you, I did it one time. They never gave me a redirect. They never asked me to do it again. I did it one time. And then the casting directors who were in there, Mark and Farrah, were like, oh, that was really different, but really great. Like, we haven't seen anyone do it that way. That was really fun. And I was like, oh, that was my goal. I wanted to be fun and like, you know, bring my own personality in it and like have fun. And they were like, no, it was great. And I was like, but I can do it like the other way. Like I can, you know, change it. They were like, no, that was great. They're like, okay, thanks, bye. And I was like, okay, bye. I just remember leaving and, you know, you just like throw it away because what are you going to do? And about a week and a half later, they called me back. I mean, my manager was like, hey, you got a producer session with Jeff Johns. And I was like,
what?
Jeff Johns, like the creator of Stargirl, Jeff Johns, like DC Jeff Johns,
yes.
like writer Wonder Woman 2 Jeff Johns, the Jeff. I'm like, whoa. And so that made me really nervous because I'm like, oh my God, Jeff Johns. By the way, I forgot to say this entire time, this character's name was Rachel. I had no idea I was Beth Chapel. I had no idea I was a superhero. I had no idea about the JSA. I had no idea about any of this. I thought I was just a regular girl in the school who was really talkative, who loved her parents and was like really positive and bubbly and like wanted to be this girl Courtney's friend. Like that's all I thought I was. Or at least that was like all of my motivation. I was like, that's all that's happening. And I go in for the producer session. I do it one time, never asked me to do it again, and I left. And then Jeff didn't say anything to me. He just like looked at me. He like kind of smiled and then was like, okay. And then they were like, thanks, Anjelika, for coming. And I was like, that's it? Okay. And so I was like, bye. And then I left. And then I would say about 3 days later, I got the call that they went to test me for the role. And I was like, oh, I just was like, how are they testing me for a role when they've only seen me do it 2 times? Like they didn't ask for anything else. And so I went in for the test. I'll never forget. I sat next to Meg.
Shout out to Meg again.
Yes, Maggie. I sat right next to Meg during the test. And I remember when you're sitting, they put every actor in this room. They were testing 4 roles that day. And every role had like 3 other actors testing for that role. Mine was just me and 1 other girl. So I was like, oh, this is great. I have a 50-50 shot. This is good. This is good. My chances are better than everyone else's. I have a 50-50 shot, you know? So they put everyone into this room and they hand everyone their packets, which is your contract. And everyone opens it up and everyone signs it. That's how every test works. And you sign it all in the same room, watching everyone sign it. But everyone knows only one person is going to book this role. And so I remember sitting there and the girl who was auditioning for Beth as well and that was also the day before the test was the day I found out it was Beth Chapel. I had no idea. And so it was like literally like 20 hours before going into the test that they were like, oh yeah, and you're Beth Chapel and she's a superhero and here's some information on her and don't change a thing. Do exactly what you did before. And I'm like, okay. My mind was blown. But I did what they did, and I remember the girl next to me was like, wow, this is going to change one of our lives. Like, this is going to, and I was like, yeah, it might. And then I just remember looking at Meg, and she was so nice, and she just looked at me, and she smiled, and I was like, good luck. And then she was like, good luck to you, too. And that was it. And then I went in for my test, and then I did it one time. And then, oh, I'm so sorry. Right before that whole signing the contract thing, I had went in for a like chemistry read workshop with Breck.
Okay.
And I did it one time with Breck before the test. And that was really great because I know Breck's best friend that I had she goes to my church. So that was really fun because I got to connect and be like, oh my gosh, you're Sammy's friend. And she was like,
Right.
you're Sammy's friend. Her friend had actually known that I was going to be, it's a whole thing, but basically her friend, I saw her at church and I told her, she was like, I told her I was going to go test for this thing. And she told me about Breck and told me Breck's story. She had no idea that Breck and I were both, that I was testing for Breck's show. She had no idea. She was like, let me tell you this story about my friend Breck. And she's Stargirl now, and this is this beautiful story. She tells me Breck's audition journey and this whole thing. She's like, let me pray for you. And I'm like, Sammy, you have no idea that I'm going to see Breck tomorrow. Like, that's what I'm going for. So she had told Breck. So when I got there, she was like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to finally meet you. And it was so great. And I felt like when me and Breck did our one rehearsal, it felt like I had known her. I'd been working with her for years.
Wow.
It's incredible.
That's
it was incredible. And I had not. I'd never met this girl a day in my life. But our chemistry, like, she would set up the joke, I'd smash it. It was just over, so great. And then I went in, I did it one time, and then that was it.
Anjelika, can we just have a moment for this lesson in all of this, right? So, you know, I'm all about a message, right? The message in this is showing up authentically yourself and being yourself. You could have went in and did like what the other girls did, but you chose to show up and bring Anjelika into the room.
Right.
Let me ask you a question, and it's not a part of my notes. What made you say, okay, throwing caution to the wind, I'm going to bring my personality to this, regardless of what's on paper, regardless of how this looks, I have to bring myself to this audition. What made you say that to yourself?
Yeah, honestly, I had been auditioning a lot right before Stargirl and getting so many producer sessions left and right. And I wasn't booking any of them. And so, and this was like that time period of like the 9 months I didn't work at all. So I was feeling just so discouraged. And I was like, you know what? The only thing that's ever going to separate me from another amazing, also talented, beautiful actress is my personality, is me. That's the only thing ever that's gonna separate me. Because there's every actor pretty much in LA is talented, right? That's just what the truth is. But what's going to make me different? What's going to make me stand out? What's going to make people say, oh, wow, yeah, she is that character. And I was like, me, Anjelika, not even Beth, right? Not even trying to be Beth. Just being like, Anjelika is the only thing that's going to separate me from Sarah or me from Christy, right? And so that's just what I did. And I was just taking a bet on myself, honestly, just betting on me and being like, if I just bet on me and bet on me being 100% me, 9 times out of 10, it will always work out. And if it doesn't, that's fine. But at least I can say at the end, I was being me. I did not book it because like I was not. Oh no. There we go. Sorry, signal. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you for betting on yourself, because now we get to be inspired by you every Tuesday night on the CW. So thank you.
Thank you.
And like you said, you guys got renewed for season 2. That's exciting. Congratulations. What can we expect? Can you give us a little tease? What can we expect from Beth? What are you wanting to see her do in season 2?
Right. That's great, because I was going to say I haven't gotten any scripts for season 2 yet, so I genuinely don't know anything, like truly. I have no idea. But what I hope to see from Beth, I hope to see Beth get her hands dirty a little bit more. I'd like to see her do a little bit more action or take a chance like that, because I think Beth's brave already. She's pretty afraid of half of the stuff she's doing, and she does it anyway. But I would like to see her like fight. I would like to see her try to fight. I guess that's the better word. Try to fight. And I would like to see Hootie. Beth actually, Dr. Midnight has this owl in the comics that we had in the beginning of Stargirl, but I would like to see Beth connect with Hootie. And you might actually see her connect with Hootie before season 2. I don't know. There's a season finale coming up, and I don't know. You know, you might. I'm saying you might. I can't promise anything. You know, just gonna say, I would like to see her connect with Hootie, and I would like to see the JSA together, like all of us together, go into different worlds. I want a crossover. Like, I want to cross over. I want to, like,
that's coming season
I know,
2. Come on.
I know, but
You
I'm like,
know
I
that's
want to
coming.
cross over. I want to cross over with Batwoman. Now, I mean, especially now, it's Javicia Leslie. Like, okay, please,
Obviously.
Black Batwoman, please,
Right.
any day. Obsessed. I want to cross over with Batwoman. I want to cross over with the Flash.
Yes.
Like, everyone.
I love them. Yes. Yeah. I love the Flash people. I told them, I said, I need to come on you guys' set when you guys start back up. Because I feel like I'm one of them now. Yes.
I love that. It. Absolutely. That would be so fun.
Tell people, why should they be tuning into Stargirl? I know the finale is coming up, and if you guys have not caught it, go stream it. You can watch the full season now. Go watch it, catch up before the finale. But why should people be watching this show? Why is it important?
I think Stargirl is a breath of fresh air during this time. It's an escape to a hopeful reality in a society where people are really, truly fighting for good. And they're fighting for the good of humanity. And there's so many of us who are also fighting for that in the real world, myself included. Yes. But we don't have a lot of control. And so I think, I mean, imagine if we had the Justice Society of America in America right now. Right. How amazing that would be. And also the changes we could make and the injustice we could fight. Right. So I just think it's such a beautiful escape to have fun. And also it's family friendly. It's scripted. It's action packed. Yeah. It's funny, but it's also very emotional. It will make you cry, but it will make you laugh, and it will make you want to hug your loved ones. So yeah, I'm really, really proud. I'm really proud to be a part of Stargirl.
You should. I'm proud of you too. And it's inspiring. So you are definitely an inspiration. And like you said, you are fighting on the front lines, and you've been protesting in the midst of the pandemic and everything that's going on. You've been in talks with the LAPD about the reimagining of it all. And recently they expanded their community outreach program. Are you aware of that? The LAPD expanded it?
Yes, I have spoken to I've had the pleasure of speaking to the sergeants and lieutenants at about 4 different police stations here, which has been really great. And yeah, just going over to the police precincts and having like an open, honest discussion with them, because they do say they want to do this community outreach. And so I feel like if they're going to extend a hand, I'm going to have to extend a hand, right? Even though my mindset is I'm more on like we need to start cutting your budget so we can invest in our community, but we can't really get that until we start having conversations with them and explaining why. And they have been primarily very helpful. I will not say all of them, I'll be honest, but I feel like most of them have been very helpful, because the truth is, like, we're not going to just like defund the police right now. You know, like that's a goal that we're kind of like looking forward to. And as far as investing the money that we're giving them into our communities, into the people of the city who pay a ton of money in taxes. But for now, like, if that's all we can do is create a relationship with them, we need to make them see us and make them hear us. Because obviously the racial biases that people do have, and the issues as far as like gun violence, or even just any type of like overly stimulated reactions that they have towards people of color in general, like taking out tasers when it's not necessary, or beating people with batons when it's not necessary. Like, there's so many other ways you could have handled the situation. And so having real discussions with them and holding them accountable. My key is accountability. And the moment they can be accountable for themselves in their industry, they can be accountable for the things that happen in our communities. Because right now, like, we can say, yeah, we want, you know, of course we all know there needs to be some type of like protection program of some sort, because I can't necessarily police everyone, but then who polices the police? Exactly. You know? So it's like, when if I'm afraid to call the police and that's who's supposed to protect me, then who do I call? And that's the conversation I have to have with them. They need to see my face and hear my voice, tell them, I'm not comfortable calling you because I don't feel safe with you. And if I don't feel safe with you and I'm the community, this is a problem. We need to discuss this, because if you're supposed to be protecting me, but I don't feel protected, we need to have an open conversation about why that is, what that is, and how we can change that. So it's been really, I'm really grateful that got to be a part of it. Yeah, that's it. I'm just hoping to do my part in any way I can.
That's why I love you, and that's why the people love you, because you are using your platform, using your full weight to speak on issues. You don't have to. You know, you don't have to be talking about defunding the police and having meetings with the, you know, sheriff's office. You don't have to do that. So thank you for using your voice, because when you use your voice and people see what you're doing, they want to, you know, follow after you, especially young people that are watching you. So thank you for that, Anjelika.
Well, thank you for that. That's very kind.
Of course. And you're not only protesting, you know, the police and defunding the police, you're also advocating for change in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
Yes. In the wake of the recent uprisings, there have been several actors and actresses calling for a more diverse and inclusive set. You recently spoke out about an incident that occurred on set of one of your earlier projects in 2017 involving a stunt double. Do you mind going into a little detail about it and speaking?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So take us back to that day, Anjelika, on set. Obviously, you know, we're not asking for any names. That's not even about that. It's just about the situation that happened. And tell us what you felt when you saw that. I saw the photo of you and the stunt double, but just take us back to that day on set and how you felt when you saw the stunt double in blackface.
Yeah. My first initial reaction was shock that this was happening.
Right.
And my second reaction was, does everyone see this? Like, am I the only one? Like, why is nobody acting? Like, why is everyone acting like this is okay?
Right.
Why is there? I was very confused is the real answer. Because in 2017, that was the year that I was booking all the guest stars and I was just building my resume. And I didn't really understand. I was still kind of new to like being on set and being, you know, a principal actor and things that were like considered like correct etiquette of things that you can do and what you can't do and what you can ask for and what you can't ask for and things like that.
Right.
And so, I mean, clearly I knew blackface is wrong, right? Like, my parents have absolutely taught me about blackface. Like, I know exactly what this is. This is what that is. Like, I knew it immediately. So I called it out immediately. That's just my personality. I'm naturally very bold.
Right.
And so I will speak up usually. I'm like the friend that my friends are like, go ask for the thing, Ange. Go, you go do it. Go do it. And I'm like, okay, fine. You know, I'm that friend. So I have no problem doing it. So I obviously spoke up for myself. And, you know, when I got shot down, I think it was the way she did it, you know, very more like, but aren't you glad you're working? Like, you should be thankful to be here. And it just like immediately put me in this state of feeling like not worthy, feeling like I like barely deserved to be there. And because I barely deserved to be there, I better not complain about anything. And that's such an oppressive tool that's used so much, you know, against not only Black people, people of color as a whole. And I'm not a dummy. I'm smart. Like, I'm a college dropout, but I'm educated. And I'm fully aware of oppressive tools that people use against Black people. And that is absolutely one of them. And so I just remember being like, okay, I'm going to have to like sit down. I'm going to just breathe and I'm just going to like try to think positive and I'm just going to do the best job I can so that no one knows that I had a stunt double in blackface. Because if my mom or anyone that I know sees this scene and notices like that wasn't you and was she Black, I'm going to have to tell them, no, she wasn't. And honestly, that to me was like humiliating. I felt very embarrassed. It was almost a victim stance of like, I can't believe I let this happen to me. Like, I can't believe I let this happen, you know?
And it wasn't your fault.
It wasn't my fault. And it took me a long time. People have been asking, why did it take me so long to say something? And honestly, it took me a few years because I had been like struggling with feeling like it somehow was my fault. And even my closest friends didn't even know that this had happened to me. The only people who knew was my mom and my therapist. And yeah, I think that sometimes it's very easy to look at this situation and say, that's not a big deal.
Right.
Like, it's not a big deal. Like, so what? They painted a girl to look like you. Like, who cares? And I'm like, but it's the principle of the matter.
Right.
And it's the history on this action that is hurtful. And when you don't know the history, then sure, you're ignorant to it, and ignorance is bliss. So you're just living like, oh, this isn't a problem, blah, blah, blah. Right. But I know the history. I know what blackface is. Even the history of film. Like, the history of film, before they would ever hire black people, they blackface white actors as black people, usually to play criminals, thugs, and prisoners and things like that, because that's how, you know, we were always being portrayed in media and in film. So obviously when I saw this, I was just so sad. And then that kind of turned into anger, because that meant that all of these people in this production line approved of this. So the producers approved of this.
Right.
The stunt coordinator who hired her approved of it. The stunt double who did it approved of it. The hair and makeup who painted her and wigged her approved of it. And wardrobe who fitted her approved of this. Everyone approved of this. Right. So I just felt like, wow, Hollywood is against me. Like, right. I felt like I've heard about these crazy things that happened to Halle Berry. I've heard about the things that happened to Viola or to Carrie or to Gab, all these amazing actors who I look up to. Right. And I was just like, wow. So it's my turn. Now I have to go through this. And the truth is, absolutely not. And I'm saying no more. Like, right. No more. Never will another black girl show up to a set and see someone who's supposed to be her stunt double or a stand-in or whatever black-faced. Like, that will never happen again. Not on my watch. And I will absolutely go to bat and advocate for it because it's unacceptable.
Right. And like you're saying, many people have been speaking out from all different types of shows or different industries behind the scenes. Ellen, her staffers have been speaking out. So it's been this trend, if you will, but a good trend of people coming out to say enough is enough.
Yeah.
We're not being treated fairly. Things are happening behind the scenes that are improper and that should not be happening. And I want to ask you, Anjelika, what is your hope for you coming forward? Again, and you spoke about Halle Berry and Viola Davis and them having to go through it. Here you are going through it at the early stages of your career. So you're not in your 30s yet and this is happening, but you're being vocal about it. You're not letting it, you know, be a moment that happened and you erase it, but you're allowing it to be an educational tool for people to know what's not acceptable and what's not appropriate. What is your hope moving forward with people speaking out, such as yourself, about the injustices that are happening on these sets in Hollywood?
My hope is for permanent change. Permanent change, because I don't think that these issues that I'm bringing up and that so many other people are bringing up, it won't be acceptable to put a Band-Aid on it.
No.
There has to be like fully stitched up healing. And with that means policy change. That means change within contracts. That means change within the PGA, within the DGA, within our unions, the SAG-AFTRA union, the makeup union, the stunt. Like, everyone has to be held accountable for their actions. And there needs to be actual permanent change in black and white, written down, that these things are not allowed nor acceptable. And so I feel like truly that's the only way we're going to have change, because we can like tell someone that what they did is bad or what they did is wrong. We can educate them all day long, but if they'll continue to do it if there's no repercussions. So that's why we have to have accountability and reform the system for everyone in Hollywood, because that's what we need. And honestly, you know, that's what we're all fighting for. And at this point, I think I feel like I can say that we as Black artists as a whole are feeling very empowered to demand what we need. Like, we're in a place right now where it's like, and also that, and also that, and that and
too, and
that.
not to mention,
exactly, all of it. So it's like there has to be consequences for your actions, and we're calling it out.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
And don't ever stop calling it out. So, Anjelika, whatever you're doing, I'm right behind you, sister. I'm like, so you tell
Thanks,
me where I
girl.
need to be. I'll be like, okay, I'm right there behind you. So thank you for using your voice. Thank you for sharing that uncomfortable incident with the world so that we can then, the powers that be can then be educated on, you know, what needs to change and how we move forward.
Right.
Let's get into some exciting news about your latest project that's coming out next year. Moxie.
Yes, Moxie.
I'm so excited. You are booked and busy, boo. You are working.
We try.
Booked and busy. I'm not mad at that. So Moxie, directed by Amy Poehler. That's so bomb. Coming to Netflix next year. Talk to us about this project. What can we expect?
Moxie. Wow. It's my second Netflix film. Yes. I'm so proud of it. So incredible. Like, it's the most incredible experience to be directed by Amy Poehler. Like, there's just she's such a special human being. There's just nothing like it. And she's about it. Like, she's about what she says. Like, even after the whole blackface thing came out, she reached out to me, had a conversation. Yes, she reached out and was like, girl, if that's unacceptable. Like, if you need something, ally, right?
Shout out to the ally.
Amy Poehler is an ally. She's about it, and so grateful for her. But Moxie is a film about a group of girls who start a feminist revolution at their high school, which, again, it just falls so in line with me, right? And so, yeah, it's such a special film, and I'm really just so excited for people to see it. We filmed it at the end of 2019, so it will be like 2 years by the time it comes out. But it's fine. 2021. I play this character named Amaya. She is like one of the star soccer players at her school, and who's just kind of had enough of the guys at their school, the male athletes getting all the attention, while the female athletics are better and they do more, but they have less funding and they don't get the new stuff, like the new uniforms, new equipment, all that stuff, but men do. And so it's really fun, of course, getting to play that character as well, who calls out all the BS and misogyny at her school. So, yeah.
Totally Anjelika.
It's so me. Exactly. It's so me. Yes. And so, yeah, it's really fun. Sydney Park plays my best friend in the film. She plays the captain of the soccer team. And yeah, I guess that's all I'll tell you, but it's really fun. And Sydney is now like my girl. I spoke to her this morning.
Hey, Sydney.
We love Sydney Park. Hey, girl. Yes. And so, yeah, it's just such an awesome experience.
Oh, well, we'll be watching whatever you're doing. I told you, we're right there. So we'll be watching.
I can't wait for people to see it. Like, this is one of the projects I'm like most excited, like, to hurry up and come out so people can see it. Yeah, I'm so excited. So excited.
I can't wait. I have to talk a little bit about the directing, because I know we've talked about it a little bit at the beginning. What has attracted you to want to direct? What made you say, okay, I think I want to do a little bit of that? And then what types of stories do you want to tell?
Ooh, that's really great. It's a deep question. I you know what? I've always known that I didn't just want to act. Like, I've always known, like, I want to act, I want to be an actor, but I've always known that, like, it wasn't the only thing I was ever going to do.
Right.
In entertainment. And I've produced a little bit. I'm really good at organizational skills, so that's really helpful. But I've always wanted to direct, and I've directed a couple, like, sketches and things like that with friends, and that has been really fun. But it wasn't until I was filming Tall Girl, and our director, Nzinga Stewart, who is also a Black female director, I just was watching her work and just instantly was like, yeah, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
I want to, but I'm going to.
Yes, exactly.
I want confidence, Anjelika. I love it.
Oh, thank you. But I definitely went from this is one day I might do something like this to one day I'm going to do something like this. And I really want to tell stories about, real life. That's just so me. I love telling stories about like real life experiences and things that have happened, um and heartbreak and injustice.
Yeah.
But I also really love comedy.
Yeah.
And so I haven't decided fully if I want to get into like directing children's comedy, because I love children's comedy. I think that would be a really fun space to work and a fun space to learn. And I think there's so much to learn from children. So, yeah, there's so many things I think I want to do, but I haven't quite yet decided on like my niche.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I think I'm going to have to play with it and like start directing more when the world opens up. But I'm writing some stuff right now. So I'm writing some stuff. So hopefully when the world opens back up, I can direct it.
Come on, world, let's open back up so we can get back to this
Right.
life thing, right? Before I let you go, I have like 3 more questions for you.
Sure.
So I know that you're a foodie.
Oh.
What are you into during quarantine? Are you cooking a lot? Are you like ordering DoorDash, takeout? Are you like doing a little patio outside moment? What are you eating during quarantine?
So a little bit of all of it. I'm actually a little afraid still of like going out to eat at restaurants, even though in LA you can go outside and like eat on the patio. I'm still like really cautious about it.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why. People are doing it every day, all the time. But in my head, I'm like, no, I don't know. They don't have a mask on. You know, crazy person over here. But I started off quarantine cooking a lot.
Okay.
Like,
where were you cooking?
I was cooking everything. I was making everything from scratch. I love like making like homemade like fried catfish, fried chicken. I was like working on Brussels sprouts recipes, like baked fries. I got an air fryer. So I was like, oh, I can fry chicken wings. I can fry fries. I can fry all these different things. So I was frying it because I love fried food. It's like the worst thing to like, but I love fried food. But I was like, I cannot continue to eat everything actually fried. So I bought an air fryer and started frying a lot of stuff in there. And then I just got like 3 months in and I was like, I don't want to eat. I don't want to cook anymore. I just want to eat. I don't want to cook. So then I got the little Postmates subscription thing. It's just it's a lot. So then I started ordering a lot. And then I would just be like, okay, now I don't want to order. I need to just like leave my apartment. So I would just go pick it up just because it'd be the one time I left my home, you know, for the whole day. So I would just get in the car, drive, go pick it up, come back, and then eat the food. But nothing's the same as like eating a meal fresh. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Nothing's the same. I love food. I'm such a foodie. I actually have a food Instagram. It's called Anjelika Eats.
I know.
I have not been on it. My brother was like, why you haven't been posting food? And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's because I've been eating most of it. And I just feel like it's not as pretty as like, you know, when you sit down at a restaurant and you like have it on your plate, you know, when it's like in a box. But
you have to do something so we can see it. But look, we have 47 seconds left. So I have to ask you, advice for young women on being their most authentic selves.
Gosh, think of what your biggest insecurities are and now tell yourself that those are your biggest assets.
I love it. Thank you so much, Anjelika. We love you so much.
Thank you.
We're following anything you're doing, baby. We're right there behind you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you.
Bye.
Where is the buzz? Where is the buzz? You said was mine.